Rockstar Gang, what is up? I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to yet another episode of the Rockstar Report. And of course, your host, as always, Clay Rop. As you guys come in, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out any new content. And become a member today. It's always a great way to help and show your support toward this channel. Chuck Down is already in the chat. Appreciate you guys coming in and coming through that are here. So appreciate you. Yeah, man, I know I voiced my opinion on this. I kind of gave my thoughts a little bit. I also have had time more to really think about this whole situation because there's a lot of blame to go around. I think a lot of people, have mixed feelings. Okay. I think a lot of people have mixed feelings. Like, who's to blame? Where does the blame start? Do we put it solely on Bryce Young? Do we put it solely on Dave Canales? Do we put the defense solely on Ejiro Evero? Do we put it on the players? Where's the finger pointing really need to be at? All right. And that's what we're really going to break down. We're going to talk about some more, dive into Bryce Young. Right? Is he really the franchise quarterback, or is he just another bust? We're really going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about Dave Canales, head scratch play calling, risky decisions in the red zone that he made. We're going to talk about that too. Ejiro Evero, we're going to talk about him, the dumpster fire of a defense that this has been. Okay. Right? Missed tackles, zero adjustments, rookie neglect, snap counts that don't make sense. Why weren't the rookies playing? Why did the veterans dominate the reps? That some of those guys don't deserve, in my opinion. Right? The only bright spot was Tetairoa McMillan. And why the rest of this roster, why did some of this roster failed young? I'm not going to sugarcoat it today, really, to be honest with you. I'm going to give you my honest, realistic opinion. Why we look broken and who deserves the blame. So make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're going to dive into that today. Shout out to our sponsors, of course, BetUS, betus.com. Sign up for free today. Get 125% bonus up to your first 3 bets. All right. So make sure you go check it out. Yeah. So become a member today, if you could. All my links are right here. I'm putting them in the chat. If you want to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. If you want to follow me, I would love to grow the Facebook page, and I would love to grow the Twitch page as well. I just haven't done it yet. We haven't not grown it at all. I haven't really been marketing it as much as I probably should, though. It's probably as much as I should. So make sure you guys go check it out. All right, let's see what we got in here. We got Chucktown Panther. What's good, man? Caleb, what's good? I told myself I wasn't going to watch any Panthers content after that loss, but I guess I could watch this one. Caleb, you're in the right place, man. Feel free to voice your opinion. Let it all out. I should have made this Therapeutic Tuesday is what I should have made it. That's what I should have made it. Day 68. How does Everest have a job? Combro says, let's see if this team turns it around like they did last season. If it looks like this by game 5 or 6, I think folks lose jobs. Yeah. Let's start with this. The first thing I want to talk about with this whole situation is the fact that the first thing I want to talk about is Dave Canales. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Sorry about that. I thought I already had pulled it up. But let's talk about Dave Canales because this is what I want to talk about right here. Dave Canales comes out and says this was like what these are some of the quotes he said about, how could another week 1 blowout happen? I wish I could tell you. Right? Why, where y'all prepared for week 1? I believe so. That's a picture of where we are right now. I mean, That doesn't boost a lot of confidence, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. If we're keeping it real here, that doesn't boost my confidence, ladies and gentlemen. It really doesn't. It shouldn't boost any of you guys' confidence either. I mean, that's for damn sure. I mean, I don't know how you can sit here and say that boosts any confidence. Let me go back. Yeah, there we go. Sorry. I don't know what happened there. I thought I was on a different page. But anyways, no, that doesn't boost any confidence in my opinion right now. Like, not us didn't need, right, in the preseason. Like, we're talking about the same head coach that believed that we didn't need real reps in the preseason. That is the same head coach we're talking about here who's saying these after that loss. What's that, Matthew Machado? And again, I told you guys, because a lot of people wanted to argue with me that preseason doesn't matter, that the preseason reps don't matter. And I told you guys that it does. And we're talking about a head coach that believes they don't matter, that he said he saw enough in the Houston in the Houston joint practice. He said he saw enough. I don't know how that's possible. I really don't. And I would love to ask, because, and here's another thing that bothers me about his press conferences. We're talking about the same head coach who gives us the same fluff every single time. It's the same fluff every single time. We need to execute. We need to execute. We need to go back to the football fundamentals and basics. What are the fundamentals and basics of football that you're talking about, Dave Canales? Because I'm tired of you coming up to the podium and saying the same fluff every single time. That is, we need to get back to the basics. We need to get back to the fundamentals of football. We need to be all about football. We need to be about the ball. What does that mean? And again, I told you guys about the preseason because he bubble wrapped these starters. And I told you that this is going to be the result if Bryce Young goes out there and stumbles out the gate. And what happened? He goes out there, he stumbles out the gate. And again, I get to come on my show and I get to say, guess what? To all you folks that told me that real reps don't matter and that preseason doesn't matter. Well, who's the dummy now? Because I'm not the one wearing the clown nose. The fact that some of you fans believe that you think that those reps don't matter, you should be in a full-blown clown suit because I told you so. Again, Bryce in this whole entire, and it's on both sides of football, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't just on Bryce, and it ain't just on this offense. It's on the defense. We're talking about a week one. And this starters had a grand total of 4 series back in August. Again, I told y'all that that's not preparation. That is negligence. You talk about building chemistry, but that does not boost my confidence in saying, well, you're building chemistry with these guys when you choose to not play your starters only for 4 series and 2 preseason games. Because you saw enough from the joint practice. But you bubble wrapped your starters because you felt like if they go out there and screw it up again, that they were going to lose their confidence. You're too worried about their mentality instead of when you go out there. That's where they can get a better mentality by going out there, getting the reps, right? They get more physicality, getting the reps. They get football ready. There's a difference between being in football shape and being in game shape. Football shape, yeah, you're in great shape, but can you take the hits? That's the difference. And again, the way Dave Canales did this is now coming back onto him, ladies and gentlemen. This is coming back onto him because of what I told you guys. And I told you that that was not preparation. That was complete negligence. It is. And I'll be honest with you, on the defensive side of the ball, nobody expected the defense to be good this year. And they are living down to those expectations. But the offense was supposed to be at least competent at a minimum. And again, instead, it's complete chaos. High snaps, missed signals, blown protections, you name it. Right? This team wasn't just bad. They were just sloppy, man. They were just completely sloppy. Completely sloppy. But that's another thing. People want to talk about, well, we risk injuries in the preseason. And again, I told you. Preseason, real reps matter, man. Whether if you're so worried about that, man, you got to get over it. Like, we look like a Corvette with a Toyota engine. Crazy as hell. Oh, Canales is in trouble. We look like a car that's got a brand new paint job, but with no engine, Chucktown. That's what we look like. That's what this team is. We got this brand new paint job in this beautiful car. We'll use a Corvette for example, since Chucktown said it. It's like having a beautiful paint job on a car that has no engine. What's the point? What's the point? It's like having a new Corvette with a beautiful paint job and no engine. That's a perfect I guess the analogy I can come up with. Yeah, make our mark. Keep pounded. Well, at this point, we just keep getting pounded. And again, you can say, well, maybe there's people out there that say, well, maybe Bryce Young had an off day. Maybe Jacksonville's much better than the preseason. The preseason analysis is giving them, or maybe or maybe, and this feels more accurate in my mind, us are just worse than anyone wants to admit. Because now, how matter you slice it, the root to the issue is Canales chose not to give his starters reps that they needed when it actually mattered, and now he's asking them to shake off this real game rust that I'm telling you guys that I told you that mattered, and now everything's coming back to full circle. That his preseason strategy was what I said was going to happen. And the pointing the finger on that blame definitely goes on Dave Canales. Real reps in the preseason matter. And I told you. And again, what he did was absolute malpractice. Now we've backed ourselves in the same hole that we dug ourselves out of last year. It's hard to not roll your eyes. And if this is the way of Canales' idea of building momentum, we might as well go ahead and fast forward to 2026 and get ready. We might as well go ahead and start doing mock drafts on which quarterback we're going to be taking between picks 4 and 8. Picks 4 and 8. Shout out to Expression 11 says 91 sacks. I'm not really sure what you're alluding to there, Expression 11. Please let me know. 91 sacks. Is that how many times Bryce has been sacked since he's been here? I'm just not sure. Again, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Got some more to break down. Yes. Okay. So since he's been here, he's been sacked 91 times. I mean, he got sacked. I mean, 62 times his rookie year. And then he got sacked like 36 times last year. I mean, the offensive line is better. I mean, but I can tell you right now, the offensive line is way better than what you're giving them credit, Expression 11. Because, again, I think what we're taking for granted is how good Ike Ekwonu is. I think after what we saw from Josh Nijman, I think we are taking Ike Ekwonu for granted now. Truly, we are. We're taking Ike Ekwonu for granted, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it or not. After what I saw in that game, shit. Say what you want about Ike Ekwonu, but I can tell you right now, you missed him. You missed him on that game in that game. There's no way to sugarcoat it, man. I'm not gonna. You know, it's not. I mean, another thing is this, is like, if we're talking, like, here's another thing. I'm gonna pull it up right now. I had this saved. I gotta go find it real quick. Where is it? This is interesting right here. Over the past 18 games in the Dave Canales era, the Panthers defense has allowed 200 more rushing yards 9 times, including in 7 consecutive games and in 35 games as a DC. Since Ejiro Evero has been here, 23 through 25, Ejiro's Evero 1 defense has given up 120 rushing yards or more 26 times. I mean, you can't make this shit up, man. How do you make this shit up? So, I mean, someone explain it to me how you can make this up. How that stat can just be, you can't make this shit up. Here's the thing. I'm because I'm going to get into Bryce a little bit about this defense too. Okay, I do want to allude to something about Bryce here, about this defense, especially in this Jacksonville Jaguars game. When you give up, when you miss 3 touchdown opportunities, when you miss opportunities that Jacksonville gave you when you got the ball at the 40 multiple times, when you throw 2 picks, technically he should have had 3, but he got bailed out by a call, and then you fall forward to fumble the football, you put your defense in the bad spot. You do. You put your defense in terrible field position. So I have to put the field position on Bryce Young on some of that game. So I want to be clear on that. I'm not going to give Bryce leeway, or I'm not going to bash this defense to an oblivion when your quarterback is out there throwing picks, fumbling the football, and missing opportunities. And the reason why your defense is getting gashed as well is due to the fact that your quarterback is putting you in those positions due to the turnovers. You cannot deny that. You can't. You can't do that and expect that your defense doesn't get gashed, ladies and gentlemen. You can't expect them not to get gashed. And I'm going to dive into Bryce Young. Don't you worry, because he's next on this list. Sorry, I was fixing my audio. My audio has been funky. Sorry about that. I had to fix it real quick. All right, let me fix it. Bam. All right, we should be good. We should be good. Play, you mean play action? I know what you meant, though. I know what you meant. And I hear you. No, it's a good point. There, like his play calling is definitely questionable. Dave Canales says play calling was definitely questionable in this game. What's good, Earl? What's good, Marcos? Is there a reason why this is not posting? What the fuck? Hold on one second, guys. I'm trying to fix something here. Oh my god, YouTube is crashing out, man. YouTube is crashing out right now. I just saw it. $45 of you guys are watching. Make sure you pound that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Did it post? Let's see if it posted now. There we go. All right, I'm good now. All right, let's get these out of here. All right. Sorry about that. So let's talk about Ejiro Evero, man, because this is the thing. This is a defensive disaster. Evero's scheme is failing miserably. All right. I think the Carolina Panthers, I thought we had some chances to have some promising changes, right? I think Dave Canales was brought in as the head coach. Dan Morgan was to reshape this rosters. And we were told that there was going to be a progress here, right? After having a historically bad defense. And in 1 week into the season, right? 1 week into the season, and we see this. We see this. We see this type of performance. All that optimism just looks like bad jokes. And I really wasn't the biggest optimistic on this defense. And I wasn't the biggest optimism this offseason. I kept saying this is going to be a progress year. We're going to win 8 to 9 games. That's a progress year for this team. Like, that was my expectations. and you get a rookie head coach in Liam Cohen who comes out and embarrasses you right in the first thing, and then another 200-yard rushing allowed by Ejiro Evero's defense, that's 7 in a row for those of you that's counting. Another 200-yard rushing allowed by Ejiro defense. That is 7 in a row for those who are counting. So at this point, it's not even competence, it's negligence. Again, it's negligence. This is the man in the crosshairs, right? Evero is in the crosshairs. Once as this guy was as hyped up as he was meant to be, right? He was supposed to be this defensive mastermind for coming in here and has now spiraled into an absolute dumpster fire. Now, if you're just tuning in, I haven't even got to Bryce Young yet. So trust me, but I did want to make it clear. It does not help this defense when Bryce Young is turning the ball over and putting you bad in field positions on the field. Okay. But this run defense is an absolute shit show on repeat. This isn't just, again, this is historically bad again. I mean, opposing running backs are turning the Panthers games into their own highlight reels. Travis Etienne ripped off that 71-yard scramble in week 1. The latest entry in a long reel of humiliation before him was Bijan Robinson. Before him was Tyler Algier. It doesn't matter who it is. If you play Carolina at this point, it seems like you're going to have a career day because this 3-4 base scheme requires linebackers who actually fill gaps and safeties who can clean up the mistakes. See, we have neither of that. We do, but the problem is you continue to put the linebacking corps in. Our linebacking core is bottom tier, and then you keep putting Nick Scott on the field, which is laughable. It's anointed that the quarterback of the quarterback of the defense by Canales in preseason plays like the Jamarcus Russell of safeties, right? His missed tackles are routine. His effort is half speed, and his instincts are non-existent, man. Like on Horn's highlight interception against Jacksonville, Scott literally jogged past two Jaguars. If you go watch it. He jogged past 2 Jaguar players. I'm not sure who they were. And Horn got tackled immediately. That is your defensive QB, and he's absolutely pathetic. He is. He is absolutely pathetic. And let's not forget, the defensive line is supposed to be the strength. They're supposed to be playing like overpaid traffic cones. And, we got Derek Brown back. The entire unit just looked lost. There's no push. There was no disruption. Just giant bodies taking up space while their offensive line laughed their way down the field. We weren't getting any pressure. We got 1 measly sack on the day. That's the thing. I'm going to make that bigger. Now, our secondary was better. I'll say that. I thought our secondary actually played pretty well. I thought they covered Travis Etienne kind of ate us up a little bit. The tight end position, though, that's on the linebackers and the safeties for the most part. But, I remember last year, somehow our linebackers, y'all remember last year when I remember the Atlanta game. Somehow our linebackers were ending up 1-on-1 against Drake London last year. And remember when Xavier Woods was on this team too, and his job is to be the last line of defense, and instead he plays like a guy. He was playing like a guy who forgot his assignments last year. And we're seeing the same thing here. And again, it comes down to the fact that we see these 0 adjustments. There's 0 answers. And that's the most damning part. They're just the no adjustments. There's just none. Still, there's none. And it's like, Ejiro Evero, do you not fucking know that the NFL is about adaptation? Like, you take a punch, you counter punch. You find out what's not working and you adjust. But it's like this defensive coordinator, he doubles down on failure. His insistence on soft zones, bend don't break concepts has turned into weekly demolished derbies, man. This Panthers, this team are bending, even aren't bending anymore. They're just falling down. They are breaking. They are shattering. They're handing first downs like coupons, man. Like, it doesn't matter if it's 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 15. They give up. And Evero's on the sideline staring blankly like a guy realizing he left the oven on at home. And teams figure his defense out in 5 minutes. And from there, it's open season, man. And we've got to stop. And here's another thing is, we got to stop hiding from injuries. We got to stop saying, well, we're banged up. Pat Jones is out. Turk Wharton is out. Bobby Brown, the third, was limping off the field. But, man, every NFL team is. Great coordinators adapt. Bill Belichick did it with practice squad players. Tomlin does it every damn year. We're talking about Ejiro Evero, who was supposed to be a head coach candidate, and he's running the same broken scheme with backups that he did with starters. The result is that this is the exact disaster you expect. This isn't about injuries anymore. It's about a coach who refuses to adapt. And I just think that Ejiro Evero time is up. He was supposed to be this defensive mastermind, and instead, if he's the architect of one of the worst defenses in NFL history and in Carolina Panthers history. His scheme is garbage. His adjustments are non-existent. His results speak for themselves. It's humiliating. It's frustrating. And I think everybody as a whole, as a fan base, is ready to burn the whole thing down. Canales can defend him in press conference all he wants, but let's be real. It already sounds like there's already miscommunication in there, because there was three. We keeps asking. Everybody keeps asking, right? Where were the rookie edge rushers, right? Where was the pass rushers, right? You had Princely and McMillan have 8 snaps that game. Nick Squirt had 18 snaps that game. DJ Wanham had 48 snaps. Pat Jones had 41 snaps. That's the distribution Dave Canales and Ejiro Evero rolled with. And what was the result? Trevor Lawrence had time to sit in the pocket. He could have wrote a novel. He could have sent it to the publisher before we even sniffed that man's ass. And it's so true. This is the kind of decision making that makes zero sense on any level. Carolina drafted Scorin and Princely McMillan precisely because their pass rush has been a joke for years. And then they cut Jadeveon Clowney to clear the runway for these rookies. And when the games actually count, then they sit him in the favor of a journeyman who looked like a practice dummy. Oh my God. Like, the defense generated no pressure, no disruption, no energy. If you're going to be that bad, at least be bad while giving your talent live reps. Instead, this coaching staff is stuck with placeholders who aren't the future and aren't the present either. We were talking about this whole youth movement. Where is it? Well, it's not on the field. It's malpractice again. This is malpractice. Well, another thing, here's another question for you guys. Why did Nick Scott play every snap while Lathan Ransom collected dust? I mean, this one is on borderline insulting. Nick Scott played 100% of the defensive snaps, ladies and gentlemen, on Sunday. Did you know that? He rewarded, this is the thing, Ejiro Evero rewarded this man that faith by looking like he had never seen a running back before. And they gashed 200 yards against us on Sunday. Again, if you go watch Nick Scott's tackling angles, it equals late to the party or not involved in the first place. He wasn't even invited in the first place. Let's be honest, right? Late to the party, or he's not invited in the first place. That's his tackling angles. That's the range from. It's either you're late to the party or you're not invited to it there in the first place. That's what it is. Meanwhile, you got a dime waiting for you on the bench, and Lathan Ransom, one of the lone bright spots of our whole preseason, got 9 snaps. 9. And this is a player known of his physicality, his ability to come downhill, his ability to stuff the run. That is the exact kind of player you want on the field when you're playing a Jacksonville Jaguars rushing attack was turning your front seven into mulch. Instead, Ejiro Evero doubled down on Scott, a veteran who has proven time and time again that his instincts and his athleticism don't match the job description. He should have been interviewed and then said, you know what, we're going to go a different direction. That's what they should have done with Nick Scott. But no, they bring him back here for another year for whatever reason. And what Evero sees in him is so, I hate to say the R word, but it's retarded. I don't like saying that word, but it is. Because I can't make sense of it. Right? Like Ransom might have gone out there and made some mistakes because he's a rookie, but he also may have been out there and actually tackled somebody. When a rookie is rotting on the bench while a vet who's just continues to decline sabotages your defense, that is, again, shows how stubborn Ejiro Evero is. And again, it's costing us games. That's an autistic kid. You can use the R word. Comrade, I don't like the R word, to be honest with you. I really don't. I don't like to use that word, but it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And it's like, that's another question. That was the question I had. And it's like with this coaching staff, man, you have to question this coaching staff. You got to question Dave Canales. You got to question Ejiro Evero. All right, you got to question Dave Canales because you enter in your second year with confidence and retooled roster. He talks about being competitive, discipline, progress. And instead, what we got on Sunday was a coach who looked like he was holding on to a laminated script instead of managing a football game. He looked like he was holding one of those Waffle House's scripts, or the Waffle House menu in his hand. He's just like, man, should I get the All-Star special or should I get that Texas melt? I don't know. I don't know. Fuck it. I'm getting the chocolate chip waffle. You know what I mean? Like his play calling was all over the place. Because at times it was like creative, well designed. And then at others, again, it just was vanilla to the point of parody, man. You go back and watch the second quarter, he dialed up it was like a steady diet of short passes and predictable runs. Like the kind of cautious football that kills drives before they even get started. That's the type of shit we were seeing on Sunday. The worst came in the red zone, though. Can we talk about the red zone? Oh, my God. Let's talk about the red zone. 3rd and 1. I remember this. It was 3rd and 1. And it was on the Jaguars 5-yard line. And Canales calls a shotgun. Shotgun draw, actually. Not only did he fail for predictability, not like because when you put it like that, it looked like something out of a rookie playbook. Like he was playing Madden, right? if your plan is hope the defense forgets about how football works, because I mean, you're all about the fundamentals, right, Dave Canales? You're all about the basics of football and all being about the ball. But yet you're hoping that this defense forgets how to play football? Like, that's the way it looks. It's like you look like you don't have a plan. And then on 4th and 1, he compounds the mistake by going shotgun on an empty set with 5 wide, and Bryce Young looks confused because Xavier Get wasn't where he was supposed to be, and then the whole thing collapsed in real time. It's perfection encapsulation of Canales' problem. He wants to be bold, but he doesn't know how to. Or it's either this. He comes up with the game plan, but then he contradicts his, or he has second thoughts. Like he immediately is like, oh yeah, we're going to do this, but wait. So it's indecisiveness. Like, and then the fourth, like, here's another thing. Like, and I didn't even want to get into this because I don't want to get started with the 4th down management, but damn, you're down multiple scores. And he passed on a makeable field goal, punted when points were on the table, and basically coached like someone who couldn't decide if he trusted his kicker, his quarterback, or his own instincts. The spoiler is, though, there, ladies and gentlemen, he trusted none of the above. He trusted none of the above. Exactly, 336. He was. I custom order at Waffle House. Grits, scrambled egg, sausage, hella cheese. I hear you. I always get the all-star special, man. You can't beat that. Even though the chicken Texas melt is kind of fire, not gonna lie. Please don't say all that all about the ball. I hate hearing that shit no more. First read not open. Okay, go through your progression. Sanders was open. Exactly. Kid fell forward for the first yard. Yep. Ooh, Kristen coming in with a huge comment here saying, what did they actually do at training camp? Canales needs to be more prepared to give more started reps and need adjustments. Before regular season got here, he just got to take control ASAP, grow a pair. Damn, you got to grab your balls, make decisions. Canales, exactly. Non-conference, non-division, road loss, no biggie. Yeah, I mean, you can say it's no biggie. It's not about the loss for me, ladies and gentlemen. It's about the way we lost. It's about the way we lost. I get tired of losing too, but it's just like if I'm going to lose, let me lose with like in a dog fight. And we weren't even in the fight. We got knocked the fuck out the first quarter. But that's the thing. We always look great in camp. I know. And again, that's negligence. Facts, Clay. We got our whole ass whipped. Yeah. I mean, what are we talking about here? We were like, if I'm going to lose, let me lose in a dog fight. But we weren't even in the fight. We weren't even in the fight. Like, we got mollywopped first quarter. Actually, we'll say second quarter. We were in it for a little bit in that first quarter. Then we just got absolutely mollywopped by the second quarter came around because that's when the turnovers happened. Then the storm came back. And then after that, it just went downhill. Exactly. I mean, 336 is right. Again, I told you guys. Uh-oh. My little one's awake. Hold on one second, guys. I'm going to go get her. Right here. Right here. That guy's locked on his podcast. Boy. Oh, you're okay. You want to go? You want to go? All right. Sorry about that. She wanted to. She did. She did. She's chilling though. She's playing with her cars and she's got her stuff. She's good. Dada's gonna finish this up. All right. Can you say hi? Can you say hi? Or are you gonna be shy? You're gonna be shy. All right. That's cool. That's gonna be cool. She's a little shy, ladies and gentlemen. She's a little shy. But all right, so back to what I was saying. So we talked about Dave Canales, talked about Ejiro Evero. Again, at the end of the day, we had our questions, right? And another thing is like I think that for Nick, I want to get to back to the Nick Scott thing. I think it's gonna take Dave Canales to step in and say, hey, like, we have to bench Nick Scott. I really think, like, let me go to my, hold on. There was something I posted on my chat page. Let me go find it. I tweeted it back out because oh, here it is. Says Dave Canales says he's been pushing defensive staff to play younger guys. Adds later he thinks that rookie Lathan Ransom will get his chances. Okay, so he should, right? Because I think it's going to take, that's the thing. I think it's going to take Dave Canales to step in to get Nick Scott out of this lineup. Because here's the thing. Canales and Evero bought into that myth. They bought into this myth of Scott as a communicator and a quarterback of the defense. That might sound great in the press conference, but again, you can go back and go watch that Travis Etienne run, the one that he broke a 70-yard run. He doesn't fill his gaps. He doesn't wrap up his tackles. He doesn't bring down the ball carriers. And at some point, a safety actually has to be able to do that. Play safety. Scott doesn't do that. Okay? He just doesn't. Right? But see, this is the thing. I'm going to tell you this right now. Loyalty doesn't win. Loyalty doesn't win you games. And Ejiro Evero clearly trusts Scott. He worked with him during the time together in Rams. I get that. He believes in this veteran because he feels that his presence can establish the secondary. But what Evero is not getting is that not every veteran leadership is going to work out. At this point, he is a liability disguised as experience. Scott was shaky last year. He's even worse now. He is declining. This is not a trend. It's a cliff. You got Damani Richardson and Lathan Ransom wasting away on the bench while Scott continues to gift wrap players big plays. And again, it's male practice. And it's time for Canales to grab his fucking nuts somehow, some way, and say, Evero, we can't keep playing him. Because maybe Evero is just blind. Because I know we're watching the same games and he's coaching them. And Canales can't afford it. You can't keep talking about accountability while handing full snap counts to a player who actively hurts the team. Like, Scott has shown you exactly who he is. He's slow to react. He's unwilling to tackle, and he's allergic to making any type of play. This is not complicated. You need to bench him, give the young guy snaps, take your lumps with the rookies if you must, and at least find out if there's hope for the future. Because Scott isn't. Right? He's on his way out at this point. We're a team already. This is week 1, and we're already teetering on the edge. And Canales talked all this big game about all offseason, a big game he talked about all offseason. And you got to back it up at some point. You got to make some tough calls. And you got to start holding these guys and these veterans accountable. And you got to start with Nick Scott, because if he's still starting by week 2, I won't be surprised if this team is circling the drain again before September even ends. All right? I won't be surprised. Because all this is at this point is it's like this it's been preseason delusion. So, Clay, does that same logic apply to the quarterback position? It does. It does. It does apply to that. It applies to that for sure. Absolutely. I mean, you're talking about a quarterback completion percentage at 51%, yards per attempt 4.4%. EPA per attempt was negative 0.24, 25th in the league. You're talking about a 32% success rate, which was 28th in the league. That's the good news. I mean, it gets worse when you drill it down even more. On throws 5 yards or shorter, you know what Bryce completed in that game? Just 56%. That was 29th in the league. He had a 13% success rate. That's 29th in the league. He had an ugly 2.8 yards per attempt. That was 27th. On unpressured first half dropbacks, aka the easiest throws a quarterback can get, Bryce Young was ranked dead last in week 1. And again, that was an EPA of a negative 0.60 and a success rate of 20%. His YA was 3.6, and he had a passer rating of 27.5. This is against a top-tier defense. No, I'm just kidding. This wasn't against the top-tier defense. I'm just joking. I was trying to make some light out of it, but I can't. But because Jacksonville played vanilla too. That's the crazy. They just blitzed only 20% of their dropbacks. They sat in the soft zone most of the day, man. They practically bragged Young to find rhythm, and he still couldn't. The worst thing yet is that this isn't one-off trend. And his 29 career starts, I looked it up. The Panthers had the 29 careers in his starts, by ladies and gentlemen. The Panthers had led at halftime. Five. He's only led that Panthers team at halftime 5 times. That's the lowest rate of any quarterback with 25 plus starts since 2000. For perspective, you want to know the same guys that are in his same boat? You want to know what quarterbacks? Tim Couch, Blaine Gabbert, and even Zach Wilson all have better early career records at putting their team ahead before halftime. So if history doesn't favor quarterbacks who look this lost early, none have turned into a franchise leader at best. That all those guys become journeymen. And at this rate, where Bryce is heading is the same boat. Believe it or not, you take it for what it's worth. You take it for what it's worth. I mean, that's just some cold math staring in our faces, man. Hey, Commander 336, man, you gotta go advance at some point. Everything about our playing is soft. Yeah, that's why they play us. It's soft. The same thing that we're seeing going on down in Miami is the same thing we're seeing here in Carolina. And Bryce Young, I think, and I hate to say this, I think he's just Bryce Young at this point to me, and I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give him the next 3 or 4 games to prove me wrong. Okay. But at this point, he's just proven to be mid, man. Mid. Not good. He's not good enough to. He's good enough to win you some games here and there, but he's not good enough to elevate your team. He's not good enough. He's not. He can't. He's not good enough to be elite. When you go look at the 4 guys in the elite category, when you go look at the top 4 quarterbacks in Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Joe Burrow, all those guys are able to elevate guys around them. Those guys are also, no matter if you've got pressure coming or not, those guys are able to make plays. You could also put in there Justin Herbert. You could put in there Jalen Hurts or Jalen Hurts or Jaden Daniels in the elite category if you want to. I don't know if y'all believe in that or not. Well, they can't. Here's the thing. I'll say this too. You can't afford to bench Bryce Young. Because here's the reason why I'm going to say you can't afford to bench him. All right, Layla's going to hang out with us. So, anyways, what I was getting at is this: is that you can't. In the case of patience, pinching him twice might never come back. So, what I'm saying is this: is I'm gonna start with this optimism angle, and then I'm gonna get into the real, right? I was reading Christopher Cox of the Bleacher Report. He called the bench Bryce movement one of the NFL's like biggest like week one overreactions, right? And he's not wrong. I think Young was bad, yes, but he wasn't the only bad Panther. I think you got to look at Austin Corbett, couldn't snap the ball straight to save his life, killing drives before they started. I think Josh Nishman looked like a turnstile filling in with Ike Ekwonu being out. Xavier Legette had two excusable footwork errors that wiped out competitions. Sorry, guys. But so what I'm getting at is this: is that benching Bryce Young again doesn't solve anything. We have to we need to find out definitely like if Bryce can be the guy. I think here's the thing: I'm going to give him 3 or 4 games. At this point I don't think he is, but that doesn't happen with have him hold a clipboard while Dalton Trott's out there. I don't think that's a smart move. All right. Either Young battles through the growing pains or this front office is going to get clarity, the green lights, then drafting another quarterback in 2026. So benching him really is not going to do anything good because we've seen the script before. Young's bench last year lit a fire under him, leading his strong stretch there as a pro, but lightning rarely strikes twice. You know, you got to sit him again. Odds are he doesn't bounce back this time, but if Carolina pulls the plug now, they might as well admit that the number 1 pick that they had was a waste, and no front office wants to do that after 29 starts. So here's the thing. The cold math, I gave you all the cold fat math. The history doesn't favor quarterbacks who look this lost early. None have turned into franchise leaders, and the best they've ever become is journeymen. I mean, again, 5 times this kid has led this team with a lead at halftime in his 29 career starts. That's the lowest rate of any quarterback with 25 plus starts since 2000. And again, Tim Couch, Blaine Gabbert, and even Zach Wilson have all had better early career records at putting their team ahead before halftime. So that's the cold math that's staring us in the face. But the reality is that both sides of this debate are right. Like benching Young now is pointless. It kills confidence and gives the team no answers about its long-term future. but you keep him in the lineup. It doesn't change the fact that the underlying numbers scream bust. Unfortunately, we're just trapped in this quarterback purgatory. We're trapped with the same thing that Miami's dealing with. They soft head football coach. But we're also dealing with a defensive coordinator that is stubborn in his own ways and won't get out of his own way. And unfortunately, we're a team right now that have all our eggs in one basket in Bryce Young. That's the basket. And week 1 has made it clear that that basket has holes. But the only way to know how big those holes are is to keep carrying it until it breaks completely. And I just think for now, that means Young keeps starting, and the Panthers need clarity. Won't provide it, but let's not kid ourselves. The clock is ticking. If the excuses keep piling up, the results don't change. And Canales and Young might be looking for new jobs in 2026. And so will Ejiro Evero. All 3 of these guys, I won't be surprised if they're looking for new jobs. It is what it is. I think Ejiro Evero's out of excuses. I don't think I would fire Dave Canales yet. I would like to see what because I think Dave Canales he's young, he's growing into the role. I think firing him would be the same knee-jerk reaction move that haunted our franchise for decades. Because if we can't keep cycling through coaches the way they've cycled through quarterbacks. Now, could I see Dave Canales get fired? Sure. That's what I was saying. I could see it, but I wouldn't agree with it because I get it. Sunday was ugly, but this coaching staff deserves every ounce of criticism being thrown their way. And Canales has to stop coaching like he's scared. I think Brad Ezek has to prove he can actually has a role beyond holding a clipboard. And Ejiro Evero just has no excuses. Either he adjusts or he's gone. That's it. That's it for Ejiro Evero. That's where we're at. But I mean, I think for sure, one thing's for sure. If this is what we continue to see, I think Ejiro Evero will be gone. I think Canales may get one more year, but I know Bryce will be shipped out the next season. Bryce Young, if he continues to play like this, will not be a Carolina Panther here next year. So, all right, guys, I got to hop off. I got dad duty. I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. I just wanted to get something on tonight. Again, make sure you tune in live, 8 p.m. EST NFC South Roundtable. Please be there. I'm about to get cooked on the NFC South Roundtable at 8 p.m. I will be live with you guys tomorrow night as well. But make sure you guys tune in. Other than that, guys, love y'all. Be safe. And as always, I'm out of here. Keep pounding. I'm out. Peace.